welcome to Nerd Pod. I'm Jacob Brown, joined here with Zach Weinberger. We did the FAU baseball game on Saturday. We had that Nerd Pod team up, and now it's time for nerd stuff. This is what we like doing, and I kind of want to start with drama because we have all this Superman news coming out, and we all know. I mean, Zach is the biggest Snyder Cut supporter you'll know. He's made me more excited about it, that's for sure, and. I'm a Cavill fan. You're a Cavill fan. Man of Steel is great. BVS Ultimate Edition is great. The Snyder Cut's going to be great. And now we get this announcement from Scoopers, and it's obviously not Warner Brothers themselves and all that, but that J.J. Abrams is going to be making a Superman movie with a black Superman. We don't know which version, because from what I understand, there's 3 different black Supermans in the comics. So I don't know which one they're planning on doing. We both don't have a problem with that at all. Like, I think that's cool. It's a new take on Superman. That's what you want. I mean, if you have 3 Batmans, you can do other stuff with Superman. But I said to you at the game, I was like, yeah, you can have 3 if you have 3 Batmans, you could do 2 Supermans, but looks like they're doing 3 Batmans and 1 Superman because it's not looking too hot for Cavill. I mean, number one, he's announcing this new movie project he's doing. It's based off some video game. And then there's rumors of him now flying over and doing MCU movies, and that he was already talking to Feige about Captain Britain. And he said, I'll get back to you on that. And there's a rumor he just called Feige after the news broke the other day. And he called him back up like, hey, I might be ready for that now. And, even as a Marvel fan, it's like, okay, I'd love Henry Cavill as Captain Britain, but I want him as Superman more. And for me, it's like, yeah, we've seen Clark Kent since the 1980s or 70s, and all we've gotten is that. But at the same time, we haven't had a connected universe, full-fledged story of Clark Kent with like the CGI and doing stuff with Green Lantern and Wonder Woman. Like, we'll get that in the Snyder Cut, but it's not going to continue most likely. I mean, we hope it does if it booms, and then AT&T can step in again and be like, fuck you, Warner Brothers, in part 2. But those are my thoughts about it, but what are you thinking?
This is what I'm thinking right now, because again, I've been reading a lot of conflicting reports about this.
Yeah.
I've heard some scoopers that are very reputable say that he's out, and then some people saying that there's a chance that he's back. So, like, to me, once again, when I heard the news that Ta-Nehisi Coates was writing the movie, J.J. Abrams was producing it, and then they said that they were going to go the route probably of a black Superman, I'm like, okay, cool. Val Zod, Calvin Ellis, that's the 2 names I think about when you talk about a black Superman. I'm like, okay, cool. If they want to do a multiverse of characters, then cool, you can have a black Superman. It's good for representation. It's good for everything. It could be a really cool story as well. The problem is that if they replace Henry Cavill, to me, starting with Man of Steel, to me, he's my favorite Superman. Christopher Reeves is great, but Cavill to me is my Superman. And I thought, to me, I feel like one of the things that people agreed upon when watching Man of Steel, BVS, whatever, Justice League even, was that he's a damn good Superman and he should play the character for a very long time. To me, it's like, I just think that business-wise, it's kind of a stupid idea to kind of get rid of him. Like you said, we're gonna have Affleck in Flash, we're gonna have Keaton, we're gonna have we're gonna have all these Batman, Pattinson as well. Why can't we have 2 Supermen? It's in different universes. And again, to me, I feel like that maybe they're holding off on a decision about Cavill until we see the Snyder Cut on March 18th, and then maybe we'll see how big it gets. If it gets any big, if people want to see more, they'll probably get back Cavill in the saddle there. But to me, I just think that it's the fact that we're not certain about this is very alarming for me. When it comes to Marvel, here's the thing. Okay, again, that's a rumor. I don't know if that's a reputable source, but I heard the rumors that he's like looking at MCU. He's talking to Feige and stuff like that. I don't blame him. He should go to a studio that wants him.
Right.
Rather than
Yeah.
rather than. And here's the thing. Obviously, I'm a huge DC guy. I love DC more than Marvel. Everybody knows this. However, the MCU is way more organized as a studio and a company of their films than DC is. They're still dealing with people like Walter Hamada, like Jeff Johns, who have been just such a bad influence and a bad reputation to Warner Brothers. To me, because when people tell me about these movies, to me, I tell them, listen, I'm not a Warner Brothers fan. I'm a DC fan. I'm a Zack Snyder fan. I'm all of this other stuff. Warner Brothers has been shitting the bed with this stuff, and the fact that our Superman, the most integral, iconic character next to Batman, is not going to be around, and it's not even because of Cavill's decision. It's because of the execs. That's dumb.
It's actually, I heard it's not even the execs. It was JJ.
Okay, so here's the thing. I remember when J.J. Abrams was rumored to direct and write a whatever Superman movie a long time ago, and I was for it. I'm like, okay, if it gets Henry Cavill back in the saddle, then let's get it going. As much as I want Snyder to do a second Superman movie, probably not likely to happen. Let's get J.J. And obviously he's not directing anymore. I think he's just producing it, and then they got the writer for it. To me, I just don't know. To me, J.J. Abrams is not like the greatest director. I mean, I like, to me, he's fine. I mean, whatever your thoughts are on the new trilogy, let's not ask CJ about it. But like, of Star Wars, I mean, you have Force Awakens, which I enjoyed. You have Rise of Skywalker, which is kind of a mess, but I still enjoyed it. Super 8. I mean, is it really that? Is it, you really want him to do Superman? That's my question.
Right.
I mean, fine. I mean, whatever. But to me, again, like, Henry Cavill has said time and time again that he wants to be Superman, you know? And the fact that it might not happen is in the future is again, like I said, alarming. But I thought they had a deal in place. I remember the major trades when
Right?
they said, yeah, that there's a new deal happening. It might not involve a solo movie, but he'll have like a Hulk type of role in the DCEU where he makes cameos. He's in the Justice League movies, whatever. What happened to that? You know?
Yeah, just gone.
So again, to me, but to me, it's just I mean, hopefully, again, you know, because again, I've heard so many conflicting sources that people say that he's out and people say that he's still in. Don't worry, I'm just waiting to see, and I think that we'll get that decision after the Snyder Cut. We'll see how big it is. Speaking of the Snyder Cut, real quick, I just want to show I got that book by Sean O'Connell.
Oh,
About the Snyder Cut, kind of like the story behind it. They got in the mail today, so I was gonna read about it and just, you know, next time we do an episode, I'll tell you guys about it. But like, to me, what the book talks about is kind of like the relationship between Warner Brothers and the directors and the actors and stuff like that. And we both know, I mean, Ray Fisher says enough that that relationship is shot. So I don't know. Maybe because Cavill has experienced what happened before in Warner Brothers, they don't want a guy like him now. But they don't want him there just because he knows what they've been through, and Walter Hamada is still at the forefront. Maybe, don't know. I'm just hoping that we have Cavill and we have whoever is going to be this Black Superman, whether it be Val Zod or Calvin Ellis. I know that Michael B. Jordan pitched this idea a long time ago. So I wouldn't mind it. I just hope that we have both, because again, they want to promote this multiverse. Let's have all these Supermen. Let's have all these Batman. To me, it's money in your hands and you're letting it go. To me, I don't understand.
yeah, I don't either. I mean, you expressed everything I think too. It's just a bad business decision. You have so many factors of why it could happen, but I genuinely think it's the same situation we had before. I really think AT&T is going to step in because AT&T owns Warner Brothers. They're completely separate leaders of both of these industries of AT&T. They're the ones who forwarded the Snyder Cut. This wasn't Hamada. This wasn't Jeff Johns. They did everything they could to not get that movie released. And AT&T is like, no, fuck you. We're doing this. I feel like for them, they're at the end of the day, they make the decisions. So if this movie blows up, which it's going to, and it ends on a massive cliffhanger like we're being told it's going to be, how could you not continue it? You're going to have fans for years like, oh my God, I want to see what happens next. Oh, how could you leave us like that? Oh, I'm never going to watch another DC movie again, blah, blah, blah. And why not just do what everyone wants? I mean, that's what Marvel does. You know, Marvel's just like, hey, look at this cool thing that we're doing next. We're doing 6 different Disney Plus shows and 4 movies this year. And you get a taste of every genre within all those movies, you know? And DC is just like, nah, we're just going to do what we want because we have, I mean, did you hear last year they have this AI computer that makes decisions for them now? Like, I really hope that that's not the case. Yeah, no, they literally have an AI system that they got last year to determine the best decisions for the company, for DC.
It hasn't been working.
No,
So
I mean, it hasn't.
I don't know what I mean, if there's any way I can hack it and then maybe I can tell them what to do, then that'll be great. No, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna just piggyback what you say. I mean, Ray Fisher has said it before that this film is not a cul-de-sac, which meaning it's not gonna be just like it ends right there. This is gonna lead to a lot of highways that Warner Brothers and AT&T could take. It's up to them if they want to take it or they just want to stop, and that'll be the end of it. But to me, I mean, why I thought they like money. I think that that's the point of making movies, is to make money for the most part. So to me, obviously I'm biased there, but even they asked Snyder during, I think it was like a Vanity Fair article, or it was the IGN thing that happened recently, where they said, if they asked you to come back, would you do it? And Zack Snyder, I mean, he was pretty much just like, I'll see it when I believe it, But obviously, I mean, he obviously expresses interest, but I hope they do. And again, I'm obviously gonna say if this blows up, but I mean, they're showing the Snyder Cut to critics now,
Yeah.
and that's obviously it's March 2nd right now, and that's a long time before the movie comes out, which is usually a good sign, because sometimes when movies, they know that they're bad, they give it to critics like the day or two before, and then have an
Yeah.
embargo that lasts until whatever. But now
Right.
they're giving them, even though I hated how they're giving the critics who shit on Zack Snyder and this cut that never existed in their eyes, now they're showing it to them, which is maybe is kind of like a fuck you to them, in essence, saying like, here it is. You said it didn't exist. Here it is. Whatever.
Right.
But obviously, listen, the fact that it's still surreal that we're like, I'm in the month right now that it is about to come out, and it's absolutely amazing. New posters were released earlier
Oh,
today,
sick, dude.
which look great. I
And he
mean,
looks better than ever in the pictures too.
who?
Cavill.
Yeah, I mean, how can you look at that? Listen, the man is Superman.
Yeah,
The man.
seriously. I just watched Man of Steel. Well, I tried to start last night and then I fell asleep and then rewinded it and watched the rest this morning. Like, it's just such a good movie. Like, and the thing is, people will nitpick it and be like, oh, well, how did this happen and this happen and blah blah blah. Like, I have some people that like nitpick the AI dad, and they're like, oh, well, how does he touch things and walk through? I'm like, are you really critiquing the lore of like alien technology, AI? Like, there's no rules. It's not like this shit exists in real life. Do whatever you
Yeah.
want. But what I like about that movie, and you said it, like, deconstruction of Superman, and it's like a postmodern look at what he's like, how the world would perceive him. And what I really feel like they're gonna do at DC, they're gonna try and do the exact same thing with Black Superman, and it's not gonna work, because I guarantee you they flip it on its head and they're like, oh, how would the world view a Black Superman? And they'll try and copy Snyder, and everyone's gonna be like, well, you're literally just copying Snyder. Why didn't you just bring him back and do that? That's just my feel for what they're gonna do, because it's like, it's the first Black Superman ever. We know where Warner Brothers sits with all that type of stuff. I feel like they're going to be like, oh, how would the world perceive a Black Superman? That's going to be the plot of the movie. And everyone's going to be like, well, where's Henry? You're basically making Man of Steel reboot.
So here's what I think, and I think it's going to be the opposite, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So I think, personally, for me, that if they do that same exact thing, like, again, because the reason why, I mean, you said it yourself about Man of Steel, the reason why I love Man of Steel is because not only am I a huge Superman fan, I love it when these larger than life characters that are viewed as God are have self conflict within themselves. And again, what Zack Snyder's great at is that deconstruction of the hero. And to me, with Superman has a lot of self conflict. He's like, I'm why was I put on this earth? He has these questions throughout the film that he wants to be answered, and sometimes they won't be answered, and he needs to figure out along the way. To me, it's compelling stuff. With this Black Superman, if they do the same thing, I think it'll be praised. Why? Because Zack Snyder's not directing. There's a huge bias to Zack Snyder. And
Yeah.
again, I tweeted out the other day, someone tweeted that if Snyder was around in the 1930s, late 1930s, 1940s,
Oh, yeah.
he would do like propaganda for Nazi Germany. Okay.
Yeah. How do you jump to that ever?
Well, here's why, Jacob. For some odd reason, people don't like him. Why? I don't know. This is my thing. Why was I offended by that? Well, first of all, it's disturbing. Why was I offended by that? One, I'm Jewish, right? So she's pretty much saying that I support a man who would do that stuff and would support the killing of my family back in the 1930s, 1940s.
Yeah.
That is what she is saying.
Literally.
So so again, people like that I don't pay attention to, because the movie is being made for a reason. Because people have realized that, wow, there's people that like Zack Snyder's movies. there's people that like Zack Snyder's DC movies specifically, Man of Steel, BVS, and people want to
Watchmen
see this.
too.
Watchmen too, but even still, because obviously the studio was worried about BVS and stuff like that, whatever. So the fact that Justice League is being made, the Snyder Cut is being released, it shows a lot. It shows that there's people actually watching this, and people don't want to see the same superhero movie over and over again, even though people will want it. People want to see Superman, go lucky, hokey, stuff like that. I don't want to see that.
I don't either. Yeah.
I'm tired of that. If I want to watch that, I'll watch Christopher Reeve Superman, which is great, obviously.
Or I mean, and I love this, the way they did the pilot, but watch Superman and Lois if you want that.
Yes, but even so, I mean, I think Superman and Lois takes some things and actually goes deeper, like the family aspect. That is something we've never seen before,
right?
And stuff like that. And he is kind of self-conflict as well, because not only is he a Superman, he has to be a dad, and that's almost as hard as being Superman. Whatever, this stuff like that. And by the way, I enjoy the pilot, except for that scene where he talks about his mom making the suit, whatever. But again, that Man of Steel and BVS are movies that are so important to me because obviously when it comes to Batman and Superman, they're my favorite superheroes of all time. It's 1 and 2. And what people don't realize is that type of self-conflict, that realization of the characters, looking at these larger than life characters and making them grounded, has been ingrained in the comics since their inception. And people look at the surface level, which is the Christopher Reeve stuff and the CW stuff.
Yeah.
Because people want to see superheroes fight. I want to see my superheroes be in these situations where they need to challenge themselves.
And you know what? Like, I hate to bring up Feige again, but Hugh Jackman just did an interview praising Feige. He was like, when he used to be on the old X-Men sets, they banned comic books on the set. And he's like, but Kevin Feige would sneak us all comic books because we were all actually interested in the dynamics of the character and what the character's motivations truly are, and not the studio's view. And, which makes me speculate that the rumors of him popping up in a cameo role are going to be true, because he literally says, he's like, me and Feige are friends. We go out, and all that. So, we might see a little cameo there. But anyway, there's that respect for the comics that, comics are deeper than just like cartoons on a piece of paper. There's deep concepts in those, and that's why they're so popular. It's not just these hokey dokey movies. And back to the CW thing, that's one of the reasons why I'm worried a little bit about Cavill, because the way the CW, the way I've at least seen it is whenever they do something on the TV side, they don't do it on the movie side. So like with Batman, they don't do Batman on the CW. They didn't do him on Gotham. Why? Because when I watch YouTube videos on it, they're like, oh, the DC only wants a movie Batman. They don't want TV shows using Batman. Then you go to Supergirl. Well, lo and behold, it's its last season, and now you have a Supergirl cast in a movie right as the TV show is ending. Oh, you have an 8-run year of The Flash, and The Flash doesn't get a solo movie until probably after The Flash ends. And now Cavill's out. Oh, and now you're getting a Superman show. It makes me feel like they're pushing him to the side a little bit with the CW thing. Could just be speculation, but seems to be a pattern over there.
And to me, it's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Again, because like, I'm not bashing Tyler Hoechlin as Superman. The pilot actually kind of sold me on him as Superman, to be honest. But he's no Cavill. And to me, it's again like, what do you want to do with your movies? It's again, me as a fan that wants these movies to be so good. You're making me hard. It's hard to be excited because I don't know what's happening. You're gonna have a Flash movie that's gonna have Ezra Miller, who was in the same movie as Henry Cavill. What's gonna happen with Henry Cavill
and Affleck? Like, what are they doing?
So yeah, so what are you guys gonna do with these characters? I guess with Batman, you can kind of kill him off because he's a human, whatever. But with Superman, how are you going to write him out of the movie's timeline? That is my question. It's just Cavill, like, he's going to do a hibernation in the Fortress of Solitude for the next 10 years? Like, I don't know what's happening.
Like, the only thing I could think of, is the cliffhanger at the end of Justice League. Maybe Superman goes off-world to chase Darkseid, or he's evil and he's taken to, like, another side of the galaxy, and they're like, oh, well, like what they did with Captain Marvel in Endgame. Like she wasn't there the whole movie because she's like, oh, well, space is a big place to defend. But Superman is Earth, like that's Green Lantern's job to do shit all over the universe, not Superman to leave Earth and do something like that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Cause like if you're doing Supergirl in the Flash movie and you're not going to mention Cavill and then you're like, I don't know what
that's the thing too. They're having a Supergirl who is related to him and he's just not going to be around. Again, Warner Brothers needs to fix their shit. Okay. Yeah. Because I'm excited about the Snyder Cut, but what about beyond the Snyder Cut?
The only thing for me that I'm 100% confident in is Batman, and that's it. Everything else is a big question mark for me.
That's not good. Again, I'm on the same page. Obviously, I'm excited for any DC movie that's coming out, but I have so many other questions. And to me, it's like I wish they would just be transparent, but they're not, and there never will be. And that's why Ray Fisher's talking. That's why everybody's saying this stuff. They make up lies. They say that Zack Snyder handpicked Joss Whedon to finish the movie. Fucking bullshit. Obviously bullshit. He said it himself. It was bullshit. So, to me, there's not a trust with the fans. They think they know what the fans want. No, they don't. They don't know what the fans want. Because to me, it's like, I'm not seeing it. And again, but in all honesty, it's almost the fans' fault that this is all happening because
they trashed the movies.
Because they watched Man of Steel and BVS. I'm not saying you have to like them to get more movies. I'm not saying that. However, you made the studios react in the way where we're getting these movies that go nowhere. I love, to me, I know you didn't like it, whatever. I enjoyed Birds of Prey, whatever. But where does that fit?
Yeah, like supposedly that's a Snyderverse movie. Snyder, like what?
That is in the Snyder Gotham.
Yeah.
But no, we're not gonna continue. Again, I think that we're in this craziness of confusion here, and I think that after the Snyder Cut, we could see a shakeup in DC where they have a direction of what they want to go with. Hopefully, that's true. Because again, you don't want. I don't know. Again, and you fire Ray Fisher from The Flash.
Yeah, like what? Like they're getting rid of Ray. They're getting rid of Henry. Ben's basically just doing like, hey, I'll cameo in The Flash, whatever, and then I'll be done. But like, who are they choosing to keep here? They're keeping Ezra Miller, who's on video beating up an old woman. They have Amber Heard with her drama with Johnny Depp. They've got, controversial actors in here. And it's like, why are you sending Henry away and you're keeping Ezra Miller when, I mean, people know what Ezra did. Like that leaves a bad taste in my mouth when I can go on YouTube and look up a video, Ezra Miller fights old woman, and I see him just punching an old woman on video. And that's supposed to be The Flash. But Henry Cavill, he disagreed with the studio and he's friends with Zach. Bye. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that video because it's funny because I totally forgot that even happened. The whole thing with Ezra Miller and stuff like that, which again, I'm not saying Ezra's is a terrible guy, but like, what was that? What the fuck was that? They never explained or even like said if he was getting like a suspension. I don't know, suspension, but I don't know. Like, what was that about? I mean, he was clearly drunk, which I'm not saying it's excuses his actions, but like, what was he doing in that video? We'll never know. And people are just kind of like, okay, Ezra Miller, whatever, he's there. I mean, pretty much like if you're gonna get rid of Henry. And if Ben's not going to stay, you're relying on Gal to pretty much be the face of DC, which is not bad. I mean, she's great as Wonder Woman. Jason Momoa is Aquaman. That's great. The first one made a lot of money. That's fine. But like, how are you going to have a DC universe where that's still in the early stages for the most part,
right?
Without your two biggest characters,
right? Oh no! We'll give you Michael Keaton Batman training Batgirl. Like, come on, bro.
Which is good, but that's not all I want.
Like we know Keaton's not going to be in the suit fighting. That's why it's a bummer.
I hope he is. That'd be cool.
I mean, I hope he's in there a few times, but like from what I've heard, it's just going to be him in like a Nick Fury role, sitting in the Batcave training people, and we'll get like Terry McGinnis and Batgirl and him training them, but him just not in the fighting a lot.
That's interesting you say that because I remember they released custom concept art and it was him in the suit fighting with the Flash. So I
Yeah.
mean, hopefully that comes true. But again, I'm happy that Keaton's gonna be in it. It's gonna be great. I'm happy, and I'm happy that we'll have Pattinson do his stuff. But to me, like if Pattinson is gonna do his own thing, if he's gonna have a solo trilogy or whatever, unless he had sex with Zoe Kravitz on the top of the Batmobile and he's done after one movie, I don't know. But like, then who's gonna be the DCEU Batman? Who's gonna be fighting with the Justice League? Because hopefully Affleck, they kind of have a resolution. Maybe Zach is back doing some planning. That would be cool. I think that's honestly how you fix this. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Zack Snyder fan. You need Zack Snyder to kind of do something here because he was the original architect of DC Universe, and he started it with Man of Steel. And that's how Ben Affleck got into the role in the first place because Zack Snyder convinced him. If you have Zack Snyder in there, kind of running things and maybe just being like a little bit of a, telling them what to do with this, maybe it's fixed. They're not going to do it though. I mean, maybe they will, but this whole thing is a clusterfuck, and I hate it because I want DC to succeed. I want them to be on the same level as Marvel, even though I think that DC has, to me, the better quality movies. But overall continuity, making money, having their own separate universe, they're far behind. And I think that's how we got here in the first place. They wanted to play catch up. They wanted to be like, we can be on the same level. We wanted to be on the same level as Marvel. We want to have jokes in our movies. We'll have a 2-hour mandate to make a Justice League movie. Fucking dumb.
I mean, you said it all. You said it all. So let's move on to happier stuff. We'll move on to WandaVision, which I know we both like. The last episode I thought was great. A lot of people are like, we got a filler episode. I'm like, it's not a filler. I mean, it gives actual character background and development to Wanda, showing us those flashbacks. The line Vision had about grief, it's being quoted all over social media. And I thought it was a great episode personally. It's just the thing I'm worried about now is, and the director of WandaVision came out and said it this morning, that Paul Bettany kind of put himself and dug himself a hole because Bettany was teasing this big surprise cameo actor, and it might have literally ended up being him working with himself, Real Vision versus White Vision, which my theory is it's Ultron because James Spader is credited in episode 9. So I feel like it's going to be Ultron and White Vision, which would be like, oh my God, that's really cool. But I don't know. I mean, like, I just worry about how you wrap up every loose end in 50 minutes, including credits. So it's going to be like 45 or 42 minutes. So how are you going to wrap up all of this from all the top scoopers? They're like, Doctor Strange will be in this episode 100%. How is he going to come in? Wanda's going to escape. The Hex is going to be gone. Evan Peters' situation will be solved. Agatha's gone. The big bad. Like, how exactly is this all going to fit? Because I feel like if it doesn't end in a big way, fans are going to be bummed out. Like, we thought we were getting this big finish, and it ends up just being Doctor Strange shows up for 5 minutes, and they're like, oh, Doctor Strange will be back in 2022. And then people are going to be like, really? That's what I sat here for 9 weeks? This was the finale? That's the only thing I'm worried about. I don't personally care. Like, that's what I'm talking about with other people's views. I don't really care how it leads off. I think it was a good show. I think it will have some sort of resolution because, Feige has said that he doesn't think WandaVision will get a second season. It's still up in the air, but most of these shows are going to be one and dones, and then they're just going to be new show ideas constantly. But I also feel like there will be loose ends because the Loki show is going to pick up directly off many of the plot points of this show. So what do you think about that? Do you think the finale has to end in a big, like, oh, big cameo, Doctor Strange wins, hooray? Or do you want like an open-ended, loose thing?
Well, I think so for me personally, it depends on the plan that they have. Because if, like, Loki, I guess, could be considered a pseudo second season for
It kind of is.
Disney Plus shows. I guess it could lead all into itself. But then that doesn't make any sense because Falcon and the Winter Soldier is coming out this month.
Yeah,
I
like
don't know.
I've heard there will be some multiverse stuff in that, but that won't be the plot of that
Exactly.
show. Yeah.
So for me, here's the thing. I've been enjoying the show. I've said it here before. I think it's one of the best things to come out of Marvel and ever maybe, or the
Oh,
MC,
come on. Ever?
MCU. No, I meant MCU ever easily. Yeah, absolutely. Um, yes, for me
Oh,
personally.
oh my.
I mean, you know my craze
It's
with
great.
Marvel.
I don't think it's better than like Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War, Winter
Well, to
Soldier.
well to me, Infinity War is my favorite MCU movie. So definitely not that. Endgame has too many problems, but still is a fun movie. But that's what
Okay.
people want. That's what people want. So whatever. But when it comes to the show, I thought it was great. I thought it was unique. I thought it was creative. Um, and I feel like people are not liking the show because their predictions didn't come true. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that Mr. Fantastic didn't appear. He was the aerospace engineer that Rambo mentioned, and he didn't
Where's
appear.
Magneto?
Yeah, where's Magneto? I thought he was supposed to be in the show. To me, that's honestly what I feel like people are not liking the shows because their personal predictions didn't come true. And it's just kind of sad. Like if Doctor Strange doesn't appear, which I feel like he's going to, but if Doctor Strange doesn't appear in the next episode, then the show's a failure. I mean, this is why Marvel keeps doing these stock stuff. It's because of these. It's because of the fans and stuff like that. They just want the fan service. They want the fan service. And to me, when Evan Peters came on the show, I was thinking to myself, let's see if they use him properly, and they have. And like you said, in 50 minutes, and that counts the credits. How are they going to fit so much stuff in there? Because to me, I feel like it's going to be open ended. It's going to be open ended. There's no way they're going to answer all of my questions in 50 minutes, 40 minutes, discounting credits. I don't know. So to me, if there's not going to be a second season, which I doubt it, I don't see why there would be. Then I, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know because to me, it's like you have to solve so much that I don't think they could have done it. They spent, and to me, 9 episodes, by the way, is just such a stupid number for a season. If I'm being honest, I think we
It
discussed this
is.
as well. It's
Yeah.
like it's just a weird number, a weird time, and plus, like I remember you've been telling me that these last 3 episodes are supposed to be an hour long,
Yeah.
stuff like that, which was a lie. And again, I thought this episode was great, showing the backstory of her watching sitcoms with her parents and Pietro back then. What happened there? She saw herself in the Infinity Stone, the Scarlet Witch. It was awesome. But like again, I feel like maybe even 10, 11 episodes would have been better. Why did people hate Game of Thrones? Why did I just did not like the last season of Game of Thrones? 6 episodes. You know what I'm saying? Like how do you do that? So to me personally, I think it's probably going to end up being an open-ended thing where it's like, okay, well, something's gonna happen. Possibly, and again, I think that Doctor Strange is gonna appear because I mean, I think Scarlet Witch is supposed to be in the Doctor Strange movie that's supposed to come out.
Yes, he is.
Exactly. So I feel like it's just gonna lead up into that, and hopefully, again, it doesn't. It needs to answer some questions. Like I feel one of the things that's going to be resolved on Friday is going to be the stuff with Agatha Harkness, and I
Right.
think that's probably what's going to be resolved. But the whole Hex thing, the whole multiverse thing, just a lot of these questions, the Evan Peters thing, how the hell did he come here, like stuff like that. I just don't know.
Yeah. I feel like we'll get Evan Peters' answer. Like I do feel like the hex will be broken by the end of the episode, and I do feel like we'll get an Evan Peters answer because I don't think they string it along that long because there's no rumors of him being in anything else. So I feel like, yeah, but it's weird. I mean, Paul Bettany is not cast in Doctor Strange 2 as we know of yet. So I feel like, are we going to get a Vision death scene too? There's some stuff that they got to fit in here. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do it.
Well, one thing, like you said, like when the director said he was kind of digging himself a hole because maybe the actor that Paul Bettany really wanted to work with was himself. I think is great, but I feel like that's definitely going to be, if that is true, that's who he mentioned is himself. That the fans are going to go insane.
Yeah.
They're going to say it's a bad show just because of that moment. And to me, I think it's awesome facing himself. I think it's cool. But even I was thinking, like, what actor does he want to work with? Does he want to work with Michael Fassbender? Does he want to work
Right.
with Ian McKellen? Does he want to work with Benedict Cumberbatch, which I feel like he's already done that?
He's already done that.
Does he want to work with John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic? Like, who knows? But it could be himself.
Yeah,
And I think
Patrick
that is
Stewart. Yeah.
Patrick Stewart, anybody
Yeah.
in the X-Men, like James McAvoy, I don't know. So to me, it's like it's an ultimate troll move. If it ends up being true, I kind of love it. Fuck the
I love
fans.
it
If
too,
I'm being
dude.
honest, fuck the fans. To be honest, so like I think it's great.
Yeah, I love it too. Personally, I thought it was funny when I saw the director quote this morning. But the wildest theory I've heard is that the way this will end will be the opposite of House of M, because they've teased House of M a little bit, where Wanda will say more mutants, and then the Fox X-Men will come in because of that, and then she's going to have to wish them away in the movie potentially, which will give us the new MCU mutants.
That's pretty cool. I mean, listen,
Yeah, because that's a good way to make it like deserving, to make those movies count more. To say, okay, like you can go watch those, and these will have value later. And you could have, you could have McAvoy and Fassbender in a movie or two, and then they'll be like, okay, well, you figured it out. You send us back to our place, and then it creates the new MCU cast. That way, there can be an on-screen explanation for why it's like that addresses the old ones and gives us the new ones at the same time.
I think it's definitely good because to me it's like I remember when there was kind of rumors they were going to cast a whole new cast for the X-Men things. I'm like, I don't know. Like we've just seen two sets of cast members for playing these characters. I kind of don't want to see a third one. I mean,
Yeah,
I would understand maybe Wolverine, I guess, because I guess he died in Logan, so I was like whatever. But like I think they should try to, remain these characters as possible. I don't know because again, Michael Fassbender. I mean, he's a very serious actor. He does a lot of stuff. Does he want to be in the MCU? I don't know. I mean, listen, a lot of big actors who are usually serious actors playing the MCU. You have Christian Bale in the MCU playing a character in
yeah.
the Thor 3, which it makes me so sad. But I mean, whatever. So, um, so again, I think it's fine. And I'm excited for it. If that's the ending again, to me, as the first Disney Plus MCU show, it should end in a very bombastic way like that. And I think but I have a feeling it's not going to end like that. It'll probably be a
Probably
very
not.
safe
Yeah.
ending. But if it is, that'd be cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, introduce the X-Men in the last episode would be like, whoa, okay. I mean, it'd be a pretty big jump.
Well, to me,
Um,
like you have Evan Peters there for a reason, right?
right?
It's not just because just to be there.
Yeah, and
I
everyone thinks like, oh, he's not Fox X-Men because she said she was controlling him. Exactly. Like right when she
exactly.
said that, I'm like, yeah, that's him, like 100%. So yeah, I mean, I hope that gets revealed. And I was about to say something else, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking forward to the finale this week. There will be that week layoff between that and Falcon, and it'll give us a little room to breathe with nothing for a week. Although I want it the next week personally. I don't want to wait 2 weeks. And then that'll be 6 episodes.
I'll tell you why they put it the week layoff. Um, again, this is my theory because you know how they love both companies love to combat with each other. Literally, I think it's like the day after or the day of the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they wanted to do it.
Hey, that'll be a great birthday week for me, bro. The day after my birthday, I'll get Snyder Cut and then Falcon. I'll be like, let's do it, bro.
Let's go. Good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're teasing a little bit. I mean, Anthony Mackie said in the show you'll start to learn the origins of Sam Wilson, how he became Sam Wilson, and that's what they're doing with Wanda right now. Like all those side characters from Civil War and all those movies, they didn't get a lot of actual backstory. So like we'll get that for Bucky and Sam. We got it for Wanda, for Loki even too. Like he doesn't get a lot of solo stuff. So I'm excited for it, and we'll see how it goes. Also, there was a date announced for the Bad Batch animated show, which is basically season 8 of Clone Wars for Star Wars. That'll come out May 4th. So May the 4th be with you on that day. And then there was a report last night. This was the actual first positive Star Wars news I've heard since before the Gina stuff. They're getting Hera Syndulla to replace Cara Dune's character in that show. And Hera is the green lady character, alien thing, I guess, character from Star Wars Rebels. And she was she had a kid with Kanan, who was Ezra's, what do you call it, master. So Kanan was the master. He trained Ezra. And then Kanan had a kid with Hera, but he died before the kid came out. And so the kid is Jason Zendula. All these like hardcore animated Star Wars fans are like, give us Hera and Jason. So it's good for the sweats, I guess, to get Hera in there and replace Cara Dune. I mean, I think it's honestly better than having Cara Dune there because Hera is a dope character.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before, and despite all the Gina Carano, so I just thought the character of Cara Dune was kind of boring and not interesting to me. So, I mean, having someone like that who has that backstory, a
Yeah.
more interesting backstory than what Cara Dune ever was, I'm all for it. And I mean, I always keep saying that I need to watch Rebels, and I never do it. I'll
And
try to do
Clone
it.
Wars.
And yeah, I have a lot to watch. I have a lot to watch. But again, I'm cool with that, and I'm happy that they're replacing that character. That they're not just kind of like killing her off and be like, oh yeah, she went to a planet, Cara Dune, and she died. No need to explain further.
Yeah.
But I think it's great too. So
Yeah, no, and the Flash comes back tonight on the CW. I'm looking forward to that. I know you're not a Flash CW guy. I just keep watching until it's over. Like just
is it good? Is it good now?
not really. I mean, they have their moments. Like you get an episode or two a season where you're like, oh damn. But to me, it's just like I'm always surfing YouTube. I'm on Netflix or whatever. I'm like, an hour a week where I get to just watch a DC show. That's all I think about it. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes I'm on my phone the whole time. It's one of the two with the CW.
Yeah, it just seems like I don't know. I saw a preview for it when I was watching the pilot for Superman and Lois, and it was just like Iris has powers now. Is that what I was seeing?
No, she's trapped in the Mirrorverse with Mirror Master.
Oh, okay. That sounds kind of interesting. That sounds okay. I don't
It's
know.
it's pretty. I mean, it's all right. I mean, because also Barry lost his speed, so he's trying to create an artificial speed force.
Oh my God! How many times does he lose his speed?
And
It's just
like every year they're like, "Oh, he doesn't have his speed this episode.
every.
What is he gonna do?"
I don't know.
And now
Well
they're bringing
tonight's
reverse flashback again.
listen. I want to be that actor Tom Cavanaugh who plays this because there's like no he's in every season he plays some sort of different characters. The last time that I was watching The Flash, and this is when I tuned out of it, is when there was like different Earths where he was a different person,
Yeah,
and I'm just like, what the fuck
yeah.
am I
The Council
watching?
of Wells. Yeah,
There we go. That's what it was. I was
yeah,
just like, what is this? Because I mean, compared to the first season where as the Reverse Flash, he was amazing, or like when he became the Reverse Flash, I guess, whatever. I thought it was great, and it just changed, man. And I'm like, that guy is making so much money just doing nothing.
yeah.
There's always that one moment where he says, "Run, Barry, run." I saw that in the commercial the other day where he said it again, and I was just kind of like, this sucks. I
Yeah.
just don't
It's
know. Like,
cheesy.
it's cheesy. Which again, I'm hoping that Superman and Lois doesn't become that because they had a really, a pretty solid pilot episode. I mean, I think the next episode is tonight, maybe.
It is. Yeah.
So that's gonna be good. And I want to know who this villain guy is. I mean, but yeah, we'll see. But at the Flash, I don't think I'm gonna get back into it to be honest. But
Yeah, I wouldn't either. And
I wouldn't either.
I
Oh my
mean, at
God.
this point, it's too late. I mean, like, why would you even marathon it? It's just like, there's nothing
It-
there. I mean, Crisis was good to an extent. By the way, they just did a special on Crisis and they removed Kate Kane out of the image of the Justice League standing together.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I
Yeah.
found that
Listen,
funny.
I'm just looking. I was looking at all the DC CW shows, and people, I always get that thing that I'm a DC fanboy or whatever, and then I say, well, then you haven't heard my thoughts on the CW shows or every movie that I've been talking about, So because I'm looking at the Batwoman trailers and it just looks bad.
I stopped, like, I tried season one. It was okay. Only reason I watched it because I knew it was leading into Crisis. And then I tried season two. I'm like, this is just not good
Yeah,
at all.
I couldn't last because again, me and my dad are like my dad got me into Batman. That's my favorite superhero. I'll probably watch anything with him and it or just anything related to him. And then we tried watching. We watched the first couple episodes. It was like whatever, and we stopped. And then the second season, I mean, the actress they got for Batwoman looks great. She's gorgeous. She looks good for the role. It just looks like everything around is just so stupid.
It's
And then
basically like a CW soap opera, and they just use the Batwoman character.
is Legend still happening?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. That was the one show I had a lot of fun with, but then I just stopped watching it. I don't know, but
Well, they change casts every season. It's like the ensemble. They Brandon Routh is gone.
oh, didn't he die or no?
No, his character Ray, Adam, he plays Adam. He just left with his wife. Like she was just like, I'm leaving the team. And Brandon Routh in public was like, I didn't like how they took away my character.
Oh my god! Listen, Brandon Routh is great. I loved it when he was the Kingdom Come Superman. I thought that was
Yeah, that was
awesome.
dope.
That was dope. And I think
Yeah,
how can you take Brandon Routh out of the show? Brandon Routh is great. Man. That's great.
yeah.
Here's the thing. I remember watching Crisis. That was the last thing I watched. Well, that was the last like crossover I guess I watched or whatever. And I was not caught up with the shows. I was only caught up with maybe Legends at the time. And you kind of don't need to watch the shows to really
Nah.
kind of get it. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I mean, I support Grant Gustin as the Flash, but the show sucks.
Yeah, he's
Well,
great.
again, yeah. So I mean, you're always gonna get something good out of him. Is that
Yeah,
it?
like
You said
I mean, Stephen Amell Arrow is fantastic. I mean, the first 3 seasons of that show are great.
that ended right, Arrow?
Oh yeah, no, it ended after Crisis because
Okay.
he died. But
Same thing with and you said Supergirl's ending too, right?
yeah, she's going to the wayside because they're doing it in the movies.
Wow. Okay. No. Well, same thing with the show. Like I watched the first couple. I think I watched the first 2 seasons, and it wasn't. It was whatever. It has my favorite reveal though when they revealed Martian in that show. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
That was a crazy reveal. I didn't see that coming. And then yeah, it just got boring too. I really like Melissa Benoist's Supergirl. I thought she was good.
yeah. She's good.
But I'm excited. I'm excited for Sasha Kaye, who's the new Supergirl now. She looks great, and that video that they did with Andy Muschietti, the director, was great. But obviously, people were kind of harassing her because I guess they're saying that like Ray Fisher was fired, and you're putting this person in to like kind of like mask our hate or whatever. I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like she
Yeah.
looks like a very good person. She looks good. So I mean, I don't know, but again, DC's it's just weird. DC's weird.
It's just
I just
weird.
it's
Yeah,
just weird where they're in right now.
yeah. Because like on the other hand, you still have Doom Patrol coming this year. Titans, those are good shows.
Yeah.
Like Doom Patrol is better than Titans, but and then you have the Green Lantern show that they're talking about, and Justice League Dark and Static Shock. Is going to be in it. And then that's the other thing. Like they keep saying we're going to do 4 theatrical movies, 2 HBO Max movies, and like 2 or 3 HBO Max shows a year. It's like, what the fuck are you even going to do? Like, what are the movies every year?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They
But
need
hey, I will say I started watching the DCAU, the new 52 stuff, and I love it. I think it's actually really good. I'm on the Suicide Squad one now. Like I did it chronological order, and I mean it's obviously not the highest quality. I mean, I just think some of the plots that they do are cool, like Damian Wayne and just like comic book stories that you wouldn't see in the movie. That's really all I watch it for, just to see different takes on stuff. But I like it. I mean, you probably watch all those, right?
I've watched definitely most of them. Even though I feel like the ones now that come out recently are worse than the ones that have been out. I feel for me, like when I think of the best DC, which by the way, DC when it comes to animation, DC always beats Marvel. There's no question
Oh
about it.
yeah, yeah.
And that's it. That I mean, will it change? I don't know. That seems like the only time DC makes is like on it is
Well, yeah.
animation.
Pikey's like, hey, I'll give you what if and change your minds.
There you go. But like
Yeah.
again, like when you have stuff like to me, when I think of the best DC animated movies, I think of Batman Under the Red Hood, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2. That's probably my favorite DC animated movie of all time. Is those two parts of those movies. Public Enemies. I mean, they have a lot of good stuff. The ones nowadays, like I know they have like one like Batman versus Robin or Batman, like the Suicide Squad ones. I feel like the animation style of the newer ones are worse than the older ones. The animation style, I don't know. It's weird though. Again, I mean, I still try to catch one here and then, and it's still pretty good. So, but again, the I just really urge people if you haven't watched Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, the Justice League show, watch those immediately. The greatest thing to come out of the DCAU is that 3-part Superman animated series episodes, World's Finest, where he first meets Batman. That is the best DC thing of all time.
What is it called?
It's in Superman the animated series, which you should just watch from the beginning. It's
I'm gonna
great.
watch that. Yeah.
It's awesome. I think it's coming to HBO Max pretty soon. I think. There's a 3-part episodes in the Superman animated series called World's Finest, and that's where he first meets Batman.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's Kevin Conroy, it's Tim Daly, it's Joker and Lex Luthor team up. It is the greatest thing to come out of the DC animated stuff ever. It's awesome. Yeah, when it comes to animation, DC takes the cake. It's great. But DC is in such a weird place. Hopefully, after the Slender Cut, it's more kind of clear what their intentions are.
Yeah, for sure. And just looking at rumors, just to see if we missed anything for this pod. That nerd pod account's pretty good. Oh yeah, shout out to his Twitter at his Black Man Lavis. He does live streams with Den of Nerds, which is the channel I've shouted them out like 50 times on this pod, and he does a show called After Dark, and they do a live stream, and that's separate from what Josh does. He's the main guy at Den of Nerds, and I mean they do a fantastic job. I mean I watch their streams all the time. They just do like 2 hour streams, just talking like us. And I responded to one of his Twitter posts, and I'll ask you the same question, but he liked the post and followed us. So shout out to him. I love Den
Nice.
Nerds. And I also, they call it a Nerd Venger over there. You pay like a $5 a month subscription thing. And I paid for it because they do a good job over there. And, you know, I mean, it's good karma, you know, like we support them and maybe good things come to us, and they do a good job over there. So just shout out to them. And so where was it? The post I responded to. I think he said, would you rather get a movie of Toby raising a family or Amazing Spider-Man 3? And I said Toby.
Toby raising a family?
Or dealing with like a family thing. I just want Toby. I don't even give a shit what he does. I just want Toby more than Andrew.
I think probably Toby, even though I think an Amazing Spider-Man 3 does sound kind of enticing because it seemed what they were setting up was kind of cool. Though, the movies prior to it are not the greatest.
No.
But I would probably pick Toby if it's kind of like what Superman Lois is going on, like him and Mary Jane, and if he gets to be Spider-Man, then yeah, I would pick Toby all the way.
Yeah, same. And we also did our top 5 movies of all time comic book on Twitter. My top 5 was Dark Knight at 1, then Infinity War Endgame, then Spider-Man 2, which I mean, that movie I can always go back to, and I just like it because of the story. Not even the Spider-Man, like it's just a good character movie. And then I had BVS Ultimate Edition at 5. So what was your top 5?
Yeah, I'm pulling up now, but I remember I didn't rank them, even though I feel like that the ranking 1 and 2 of my favorite comic movies of all time is easy. BVS Ultimate Edition number 1, easy, and then number 2 is probably Man of Steel, and then I feel like the top 3 is easy. Number 3 is probably The Dark Knight. But after that is pretty just kind of like out of order. Like my favorite X-Men movies, X-Men Days of Future Past. I
like that one.
So good.
That movie gets shit on. I don't get why. I love that movie.
I really haven't. I mean, I've heard it does get shit on, but I haven't seen it because I mean, I don't know how you can shit on that movie. I really don't know. Like I feel again, to me, First Class is such an underrated movie.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I love that one, and to me, again, the new cast and the old cast kind of going at each other in Days of Future Past, interacting there. I just thought it was great, and to me, that Days of Future Past is such an awesome movie. And then I have Infinity War in that top 5. My favorite MCU movie easily for me. And then I think I included Watchmen because I to me, like, I want to have sort of a balance of having Marvel in there. Because when you look at the honorable mentions, I feel like it's mostly Marvel because Marvel makes a lot more movies than DC does, obviously at the moment. So,
yeah.
So doing it again, BVS Ultimate Edition, Man of Steel, Dark Knight, Avengers: Infinity War, X-Men: Days of Future Past, and hopefully, I'm saving a spot for Snyder Cut in there. Hopefully,
that's what I was thinking too. I was like, that might be top 5 by the end of this.
I mean, I'm hoping it is, and I feel like it probably will be. Because it just whatever. And then I mean, there's so much other superhero movies out there, but that's probably my 5 and 6. Those 5 and 6 superhero movies for sure.
Sounds good. And the last thing I forgot to mention was they did name Spider-Man 3. It's called Spider-Man No Way Home. I like that title. I think it keeps it ambiguous. The thing I think what it means is that's going to be the movie where he ends up over at Sony and then he does Sony stuff for a while because, No Way Home, he's in a different multiverse. So I feel like that's the road they're taking because we always knew, he'll be in Venom 3, he'll be in other Sony movies before he comes back to Marvel. So I'm fine with it. But, that's just more Spider-Man either way.
Yeah, I don't mind that. If I'm being honest, I feel like that title kind of references the multiverse in a lot of ways, like you just said. So I'm cool with it, even though I thought it was Phone Home at first because that's what Tom Holland put, and then
a troll.
And then the rest of the cast put something out there. I think Zendaya put Home Slice or something like that. So
well, there's a theory about that too, that Home Slice is in reference to Toby because he was a pizza delivery guy, and then Home Wrecker because Andrew Garfield ruined Gwen Stacy's family, and then phone home because I
That's
mean
funny.
it's out there, but and plus the colors are in green and purple, which people are thinking that mean because William Dafoe was on the set, so they might be teasing Green Goblin with the color scheme.
Listen, that's cool. I mean, we also saw those first couple images, and people are like, "Oh, what are they looking at? What are they looking?" It's probably
Well,
nothing.
they're definitely in Doctor Strange's place in the picture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen people did a floor comparison. It's the same floor. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so they're in the Sanctum Sanctorum. That's cool. I mean, if anybody, wait, actually, is Spider-Man 3 is coming out before
Doctor
the
Strange.
Doctor Strange one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that could, I mean, again, like WandaVision, and then that movie can possibly lead into what Doctor Strange is doing, the whole
Yeah,
multiverse.
I think Toby's going to be in Doctor Strange too as well because of the Raimi thing. Because
Oh
I
yeah,
heard,
yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
yeah, bro. Like if that, yeah, that would be sick. And I already know, that the guy that makes the cameos in every Raimi movie, like the guy who did the ticket office in Spider-Man 3.
Oh, Bruce Feldman, is that his name? He was in the
Yeah,
Evil Dead movies. Yeah,
yeah. He's cast in Doctor Strange too.
yeah. Is he? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he
great.
is.
That's great. That's great.
I mean, dude, like it just makes sense. Plus, I mean, I heard that's why the contract negotiations were held up because Kevin Feige was like, "Yo, Toby, we want you to be Uncle Ben in the MCU," and Sony's like, "Yo, we want you to do another few movies." So like, it was double negotiation, and he's like, "Back up the truck if I'm going to be doing all this."
Yeah, I mean, well, by the way, that guy's name was Bruce Campbell.
Okay.
Second of all, if I'm Tobey Maguire, give me all the money. I mean, listen, I mean,
I mean,
people
he
want
started
me,
it all.
and that's the thing. Listen, without, if again, I mean, it's the worst kept secret in Hollywood that those three Spider-Man they're going to be in it.
Yeah.
Without Toby, then there's no reason to do it. There's no reason to do it if Toby's not going to be in it. So, give him all the money he wants. I got to be real. I'm just want him to be motivated, to do it.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing. If you can tell when an actor is just taking a paycheck, and to him that's a big fucking paycheck. So
Yeah.
we'll see. And again, that's coming out at the end of this year.
Yeah. December 18th, I think.
2 days after my birthday. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, bro.
I'm good with that. I'm definitely excited when it comes to that's probably. I mean, I guess unless I'm like not thinking of all the other superhero comic book movies coming out this year. That has to be my number two. Obviously, Snyder Cut won, but that's probably has to be my number two.
Easy. Yeah, because we've got Black Widow. No one really cares. Then you got Shang-Chi, which is going to be cool, but not Spider-Man level.
It's cool. And
then Eternals. They're saying I've seen producers are like we didn't even know how good this movie was going to be. So that I mean that's hyping it up, but I still don't think it'll be good as Spider-Man.
I saw there's like a promotional image for Eternals.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that, and I gotta be honest, I don't know what I was looking at. It just looks like actors.
Yeah, I think it was a fake Photoshop. I don't think that could possibly be real. Yeah, okay. There's no way.
All right. That sounds good. And then we also have the Suicide Squad, which I mean, people know my thoughts about that already. Hopefully, it's good. It looks, I don't know. Hopefully,
we'll see. We'll see, and it's gonna be crazy too. Like once you get to Eternals, it's gonna be that in November, Spider-Man December, Thor in February, and then Doctor Strange in March, and Batman in March. So like that's, woo.
Is it bad that I'm more excited for Kong versus Godzilla than most of those movies you made? That is gonna be awesome.
Really? Oh man, I've never been into those.
Oh, did you see the recent Godzilla ones?
I did. It's just like to me, like it's just like 2 hours of shit being destroyed. Like that's
and guess what?
Cool.
And guess what? That's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, listen, to me, like people were, the first Godzilla movie was okay. There's not enough Godzilla in it. It's in the title. He was like in it for 20 minutes of the movie. Second one, it's him fighting the other monsters. Hell yeah. And again, that's the thing. You need to be grown up on it. I feel like as a kid, my dad showed me like the old Godzilla movies. So that's why I kind of just know about it and stuff like that. And people, to me, I want to see King Kong and him fuck some shit up. That's all I want to say. So I'm
gonna watch it for sure.
Yeah, and then you also have the Mortal Kombat movie, which I don't even know. Video game movies are not really the best, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. So Yeah, that'll do it. We covered all the bases today. So yeah, we will be back with you guys after the WandaVision finale, giving you our thoughts on that in the week in between, the biggest week ever for us, for Snyder Cut and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Follow us on Twitter at the NerdPod2. We'll also put Zach's Twitter in the description and mine as well. And yeah, you can find this on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And for this edition of Nerd Pod, for Zach Weinberger, I'm Jacob Brown, and we will see you next time.
See ya.